Three, two, one, action. Hi, good morning, everybody from sunny Malaysia, and good evening to all of you in Canada. It's so nice to share this space with all of you. I've missed all of you, and I'm so happy to be here, part of this community. And thank you so much for having me. And I'm a little bit shaken up right now after going after Sarah and Archana because their words were like prayer beats for me, and to follow up the words that came out, the beautiful words and poetry, it's gonna be it's gonna take some time. However, I do have to tell all of you that my poems today will have a little bit of a trigger warning. My first poem is called "The Voices in My Head," which is taken from one of my poems published in the anthology called "Through the Looking Glass." This one has imagery of depression, and I'll explain the second one. The second poem is about my identity being an Indian living in a country such as Malaysia. So I'm gonna start with my first one. Here goes. The voices in my head. They say you gotta hit the pavement running. Be at our very best. Always be stunning. They say we gotta use our intellect, even if it means we ever gotta be slightly cunning. To always keep the fire burning, our wheels gotta always keep on turning. They say if you are not doing, then you are a nothing. But they never tell you what to do when you are hurting, when your heart gets broken into a million pieces and you can't stop crying and you break down because you're so tired of trying to please, trying to be somebody they told you to be, trying to fit into a society. I am trying to tell you. All of this is starting to get the better of me, and I'm struggling to find my own clarity. You see, there's this velocity inside of me as I spin around trying to swallow someone else's ideology, trying to make sense of all this insanity. My neck is bent. My eyes are glazed, scrolling through the feed. Desperation creeps up on me. Some days I feel like I'm standing there and everybody's just looking at me, at all my uneven bits and pieces as I struggle to cover my nakedness. But I woke up today and I felt I did not want you to stare. But yesterday I cried because you would not look at me. And I felt invisible, unloved, and unworthy. Some days I feel so numb, and as the white noise fill all my empty spaces, I feel that I gotta feel. I feel like I gotta make somebody take notice of me. I feel like I gotta connect with someone who will accept me, someone who will give me some form of validation. And can't you see, I hunger for inspiration as I stare into the bright light of my holy device and seek my own divination. I crave for the right kind of mental stimulation. Hear my confession as I struggle with anxiety and fear any kind of separation. The voices in my head, the voices in my head, you see, they tell me I'm no good, I'm no good, I'm no good. The subliminal messages that seep into my skin and pour into every iota of my being every time I flip through a glossy magazine, clicking through the barrage of never-ending reality TV, gazing into the lives of the super rich celebrities. Who am I? And why do you see the need to control me, to take charge of my future and destiny? The books I read, they tell me that Peter Pan took flight with Wendy and Hannibal climbed the Alps and Magellan traveled the seven seas. Alexander pillaged and conquered with cries of war, but war is not made for one like me. I want to stare into space just like Galileo Galilei, write my own book, a story about me, about a girl named Emily, like one J.K. Rowling wrote about a boy named Harry, a story of heroism, love, and charity. I know, I gotta get rid of my codependencies to pseudoscience and for realities. It's time to create my own story. You see, I believe all it takes is a few good men to plant the seeds, to do the deed, to uphold the creed, to gently remind us that God resides within you and me. A few good men to stand up to tyranny, to shout out loud on every speaker's corner, and remind us that this life is not a virtual reality, not a game to play like PUBG, that my life is not a parody. You see, I still believe in good old chivalry and hold on to my dignity. That is something no one can ever take away from me. Until the voices in my head, until the men who spread all those lies and hate, to my brothers and sisters in full glory of my sobriety, I say, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. All right, so that was my first piece. Thank you so much for the words of encouragement. My second piece, my second poem is a very personal poem, just a little bit of a backstory before I get into there. Being Malaysia, living in a country like Malaysia, which is multicultural, it is a facade. It is still a very corrupted country. It is still a country very, very divided, and racism is very blatant. And I'm brown skin, and 7% of a population of a country that on paper I am a citizen, but I do not get the same rights or privileges as the majority of this country. And there are some words that I've written in my native language, which is Malay and Tamil. One word is kaling. Kaling is a derogatory word, very similar to the N word. That's what it's a derogatory word to Indians. Apu Nene is like, imagine, watching The Simpsons and you have Apu. It's like you're stereotyping every Indian as Apu. Kicap is Puak Kicap basically is calling us a tribe of soy sauce skin. All right, so putting it into context as I start. Here we go. Call me by my name. Ching, ching, ching. The sound of my kolisse, the silver bells around my ankles, they walk into the room before I do. The whiff of the sweet smelling scent of the jasmine flowers intertwined in my hair hits your nostrils before your eyes set sight on mine. I am a red dot in a sari, pop culture fills your imagination with images of me running around a tree, shaking my hips to the beats of the Bollywood tabla, or spontaneously bursting out, "Oh, Krishna." But I am more than that red dot on my forehead. I am more than the silver bells around my ankles. I am more than the bangles lined up from my wrist to my elbows, and I am more than the layers of cloth wrapped around my body. Although present me needs to hire somebody to tie a sari for me. True story. There is no gender discrimination when our babies are born. Both boys and girls have their ears pierced as it is custom. But then on out, the earrings empower the boy's status and imprison the girls in the kitchen, as it is the custom. We wear silver toe rings on our wedding day. The maple ties the tali around the neck of his bride on his wedding day with promises to love and protect. That same tali is yanked off the woman's neck, her glass bangles broken, the kumkumam washed off her forehead should her husband go before her as he lays in his coffin. But when Amma poured the hot cow's milk into my silver cup every morning, she was pouring the spitfire cast from the bowels of Brahma that nourished me, molded me, and folded into me. I am the battle of Ganga and Yamuna, slicked with holy oil from the tips of my tickly hair to the ends of my brown skin. I am the mighty river Ganges flowing within. I am the Vibhuti, the gray ash across my forehead. I am Parvati, Saraswati, and Gayatri. And you feel the warmth of my maternal love in my embrace. I am Kaliyama, who sticks her fierce tongue out at the oppression of men, wielding a sword and beheading the atrocities and lies of men. I am the proud Dravidian blood that flows through my veins. I am a Tamilan. You see, I may not be standing here before you wearing a potu on my forehead, bangles around my wrists, and kolisa around my ankles. I may not be able to roll and twist my tongue to my mother's tongue. For you see, my tongue has been made stiff, trained to speak another man's language. But my identity is forever painted on the canvas that is my brown skin. And I wear this suit I was born with pride and humility. And all that is within me and the DNA of my ancestors are born again in my flesh. And when you chuckle at my skin color disappearing into the color of the night, so unfair, so unlovely, dismissed and looked down, because you cannot comprehend all the history that I am drenched in, and then you dilute me. And I sit here, 7% of a population pushed out to the edge, standing on the ledge, looking in. I am standing outside, looking inside my own country, 7% of a rowdy, drunkard, wife-beating bastards. You call me Apunene. You call me Kaling. You call me Kitchup. But notice, when you call me all those names, you're calling the spirit of my people who used to rule this Nusantara from Sri Vijaya to Majapahit. Know that you are calling me Raja and you are calling me Rani because I am the oldest religion in the world. I am the oldest language in the world. I am the rice on the banana leaf drenched in curry, and I am you and you are me. And when I place my 10 fingers in front of my heart to greet you, from my heart to yours, as I bow down to touch your feet, call me by my name. Thank you very much. That was it.